Guys, let me tell you, this second Trump term is going to be an absolute shit show. I know a lot of you are worried about what Donald Trump might do, and you should be. I mean, look, the guy is an extremist nut who has authoritarian dreams. But he's not going to be able to accomplish most of what he's going to try to do because his White House and this entire MAGA movement is going to be so dysfunctional. It's going to eat itself from within. Already it's starting. We have lunatics on the MAGA right attacking co-president Elon Musk. They have finally realized that Elon Musk doesn't give a damn about MAGA, doesn't give a damn about Trump. He's in it for himself. He bought Donald Trump to pad his own pockets. Okay, this is all about Elon Musk buying a presidency.
Billionaires don't join movements, they buy them. That's what happened here. Musk didn't wake up caring about conservative values. He saw a market, millions of people who worship wealth, hate regulation, and will defend him online for free. So he invested, bought influence, bought access, and now the same people who cheered him on are shocked that he doesn't actually share their beliefs. This is what happens when you confuse money with loyalty, when you treat politics like fandom instead of policy. Billionaires don't have teams, they have interests, and when your interests stop aligning with theirs, they drop you. Simple as that. The infighting's just beginning, and it's going to be ugly.
So Trump tells Republicans, if we don't win midterms, I will get impeached. I am telling you right now, I'm urging all Americans to make sure that you vote during these midterms, okay? Because this is exactly what he is fearing, and this is exactly what we need to fucking happen. So just so we're all clear, in the midterms, Congress is decided. They are your U.S. House of Representatives and also your Senates, okay? We need to remember this. This is important. This is our chance to rebalance the power dynamics, okay? We need congressmen. We need them to act. We've seen what happened in Venezuela without their support. Very quickly, these are the dates that your state are going to be having the midterms. And if you are in Massachusetts like me, ours is going to happen September 1st of this year. This man is not fit for presidency. Not only is he dividing Americans, he is also dividing the other worlds from us. He is doing horrible things.
She's absolutely right, and most people won't listen. The midterms are the only real mechanism for checking power right now. Not protests, not hashtags, not going viral, just showing up. And I know, voting feels pointless when the system's rigged, when money controls everything, when your one vote feels microscopic. But here's what people miss. Every authoritarian takeover in history has relied on one thing: citizens giving up, checking out, deciding it's not worth the fight. That apathy, it's not accidental, it's engineered. They want you to feel hopeless. They want you scrolling, complaining, doing nothing, because an active, engaged citizenry is the one thing that actually threatens power. So yeah, find your state's primary, register 3 friends, show up. Complaining is free, but losing, that costs everything, and we're running out of chances to get this right.
And it's going to affect the dynamic of other relationships that people have with America, other countries. So we need this man out ASAP.
Some of you guys are truly addicted to being losers, and at this point, I don't know how to help you. So for context, I just posted this article with this caption on Instagram, essentially saying that if you are feeling hopeless scrolling social media, that there is a lot of actual, tangible, productive shit you could be doing right now. Notably, you can go to places like swingleft.org, where there are 19 congressional races happening right now that are extremely competitive, where Democrats can take those seats back and potentially take back the House. There are also 14 seats that Democrats cannot afford to lose right now, and you can literally pick any one of any of those campaigns and start volunteering, donating, phone banking, canvassing, whatever you want to do today. And of course, one of the first comments is this: you think he's actually gonna let us get to the midterms? This addiction that some of you guys have to conceding defeat before the race is even run is truly mind-boggling to me. Because even if that were true, it would still be worth trying. And by the way, if this were actually true, Republicans would not be fighting tooth and nail nationally to keep as many seats as possible. Like, it is just such loser energy to say, well, why even bother trying, because he's not even gonna let us win anyway. Like, yes, Republicans are currently doing everything in their power to steamroll our democracy, but why are you getting out of their way? Like, I fear that some of you are happier to just clear the way for them to do whatever damage they want because it's easier than at least attempting to put up a fight. Which is fine, I guess, but at least be honest with yourself.
The doomer mentality is a trap. When your whole identity becomes everything's hopeless, you're not being realistic. You're being complicit. Look, things are dire. I'm not denying reality here, but saying, why even try? They won't let us win anyway is literally doing the opposition's work for free. Here's the tell. If victory was guaranteed, why are they fighting so hard to suppress votes, to spread disinformation, to make you feel powerless? Because they're terrified. So either get in the fight or admit you're scared. But don't call surrender wisdom. Giving up before the battle starts isn't strategy. It's just giving up.
We have some serious news this afternoon. In a new interview with Reuters, Donald Trump has been in his clearest form yet, saying that we should not have a midterm election. He was asked point blank about his prospects heading into the 2026 midterms, was upset and expressed frustration that Republicans may not do well and that the party of the president typically does not perform well in midterm elections. He said, quote, "It's some deep psychological thing, but when you win the presidency, you don't win the midterms. When you think of it, we shouldn't even have an election." This comes just 1 week after he went on stage in front of House Republicans and joked about abolishing the 2026 midterm elections. Well, that joke on stage has now turned into a serious comment he boasted about in an interview with Reuters. We will see if this takes in another form. It's also unclear how he would even do something like that. But this is what the president is now openly talking about right now. And people need to know about it. So spread the word, and as always, follow along for all the news you need to know about.
Openly discussing canceling elections, out loud, on record. Can that legally happen? No. The Constitution doesn't grant executive authority over elections. They're managed by states. But here's what people miss. You don't need to literally cancel elections to destroy democracy. You just need to undermine faith in them, claim fraud before counting starts, refuse to certify results, make voting so difficult people give up, encourage violence at polling locations, death by 1,000 cuts. And when leaders joke about abolishing elections, they're not joking. They're testing how far boundaries can be pushed. This is how democracies collapse. Not with tanks, but with normalization. Every crossed line becomes the new baseline. Every joke becomes acceptable. So when you hear this, don't laugh, don't dismiss it, call it out loudly, because silence, that's permission.
Friend, pick up the phone. It's me. But listen, I have to come over here and tell you about the Rock the Country concert, okay? 8 small towns, 8 massive shows. 8 small towns, 8 massive shows. And here are the small towns at the bottom. Yeah, you see it. But here's the thing. If you have an artist that's on here that you listen to, keep in mind, I just need you to know, they support the Dollar Tree Dictator. Now, we know Kid Rock, Jason Aldean, Blake Shelton, Jelly Roll, Creed, that's crazy, Miranda Lambert, all of these people. But look, Ludacris, I didn't know that. I didn't get that memo. Nelly, we knew, like, and y'all not giving Nelly enough shit. Anyways, but Ludacris? But not only that. Now, I need you to understand, these artists do not perform at every city. Every city doesn't get to be blessed by all of these people. But let me show you. Ludacris is definitely going to be at this one at Anderson, South Carolina, July 25th through the 26th, that weekend, right? He's going to be there with Creed and Brantley Gilbert and Gretchen Morris. I don't know these people, and I'm so happy about it. But I do know Ludacris, and his ass is going to be there. Not only that, he's also going to be there this weekend in Ocala, Florida, August 28th through the 29th. Now, he's going to be there with Blake, Brooks and Dunns. I don't know these people.
Ludacris at a MAGA concert. Ludacris. Look, I'm not canceling anyone. The music industry is broke. Streaming pays pennies. Touring's the only way artists survive now. So if someone waves a check, yeah, I get it. But fans, stop pretending this means anything. These artists don't care about your politics. They care about their rent. It's not an endorsement. It's a paycheck. Welcome to capitalism.
Now, I know Blake and Miranda because I used to watch The Voice. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I like that. But he's going to be, Ludacris is going to be here with Blake on August 28th through the 29th. And then y'all's friend Nelly is going to be here this weekend, September 11th through the 11th. He's choosing to be here September 11th with Kid Rock, Gavin Adcock. Remember him? Gavin was the one that was talking the shit about Beyonce. And now he's here. That's crazy. Nelly's going to be there with these people. So yeah, tickets go on sale like on the 16th if y'all are interested to tell people to just buy tickets and not go because they start at $2.50. Okay, bye.
Well. Read it and weep. I post a receipt so you guys can't say that it's fake. This was from Newsweek actually, which is pretty moderate, in most terms, but yeah. So this is your typical liberal here trying to figure out what's going on. We know that, the Democrats spent millions of dollars trying to figure out why don't real men vote for us? Why did we lose Latino vote? And it's really simple. I live in South Florida. Come to South Florida and they'll tell you. If we can't legally, we spent the money for the attorneys. We waited to our embassy interview. It took us years. We waited for years. We worked for years and can't legally. It is unfair to us to see all these people come across the border and get all these handouts. They hate it. They can't stand it. And that's why they still vote for Trump. No need to worry, wonder, or anything. 43% increase. That is amazing. And 24%.
The Latino voter shift isn't confusing. It's predictable. Immigrants who came legally, they waited years, paid thousands in fees, jumped through endless bureaucratic hoops, sacrificed everything. So when they see people crossing borders and receiving resources, housing assistance, work permits, media sympathy, they feel cheated. And emotionally, I understand that resentment. But here's what's insidious. The system is broken for everyone. Legal immigrants get exploited. Undocumented workers get criminalized. Instead of fixing it, politicians weaponize that resentment, pit immigrants against each other, divide and conquer. Because if legal and undocumented immigrants ever united to demand reform, that would actually threaten power. So we get this instead. Crabs in a bucket, fighting over scraps while the people who designed this disaster laugh their way to re-election. Politics isn't logic, it's emotion. And resentment, easiest emotion to weaponize.
And I'm telling the story about how I escaped. I really hate college football, specifically college football fans. Football is really great. It's a really cool spectacle to watch. But college football fans are fucking insufferable because they have intertwined their identity with this college sports team that is made up of children who just happen to have world-class athleticism. And if Florida beats Florida State, everybody who graduated from the University of Florida thinks they're a superior human being to everybody who graduated from Florida State. That is insanity. But if you trace back when people's fandom began, it's most likely because someone that they deeply cared about when they were young also cared about this team. And so they handed them their fandom.
The football analogy? Perfect. Politics isn't chosen through analysis. It's inherited. You don't become Republican because you studied tax policy. You become one because your dad was one. Your community, your tribe. Same with sports teams. It's not logic, it's identity. And once that forms, almost impossible to change. Because challenging your politics means challenging your family, your sense of self. That's why facts don't work. Why debates fail. You're not arguing with someone's brain. You're arguing with their identity. And identity cuts deeper than any fact ever could.
And because they're experiencing this with somebody
So, if you're on the left and you're arguing against this purple revolution.
Hey man, bearded leftist here, and I got some strong fucking words for you. For you to tell me that I'm being childish for not just accepting MAGA as they're waking up, yeah, you could fuck right the hell off. That's not called being childish. That's actually called being mature and having boundaries. See, that's what happens when you go to therapy, when you start to grow up and gain the maturity to understand that you're not a fucking doormat and that people can't just do whatever the fuck they want, that morals and ethics matter, and that they are not color specific, they are not gender specific, they are not pronoun specific. No, I'm sorry, there is nothing wrong with us leftists saying that if MAGA wants to be a part of any system moving forward, they have to abandon their bigoted ways entirely. Because you see, every day since the election, I have had to go check on my trans daughter multiple times through the middle of the night just to make sure that she's alive. Because 77 million maggots voted for her not to exist. and that if she does exist, that she should be criminalized. So pardon the fuck out of me for having a goddamn boundary and to say fuck off to any maggot that still holds that bigoted viewpoint. That's not unity. If MAGA's not willing to let go of their bigotry and say that it is equality for all, that there are no qualifiers to rights, that's not unity. That's selective privilege, which is what we already fucking have. You want this thing to work. You want a new system that is going to benefit you and everybody else, and Palestine for that matter. It has to be true unity, which means no one has privilege. No one has privilege. And no qualifiers to rights. Okay, Pumpkin? Have the fucking day you deserve.
His rage? Completely justified. When your child's existence becomes a political debate, when millions vote for policies that would criminalize who they are, yeah, you're gonna be furious. And this purple revolution nonsense, that we should just hug it out and move forward, it's not just naive, it's insulting. Unity without accountability isn't unity, it's erasure. You can't spend years dehumanizing people, stripping rights, making their lives hell, then suddenly say, let's be friends when it's convenient. Real reconciliation demands acknowledgement, apology, change. Until that happens, boundaries aren't optional, they're survival. You don't owe forgiveness to people who haven't earned it. Can people grow? Absolutely, but they have to want to. And if they're still clinging to bigotry while asking for unity, keep your distance. Protecting your peace isn't petty, it's necessary.
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events. So
if you live under a rock and you didn't know who that was Steve Bonnell, or Destiny. And in case you couldn't hear the video in the beginning clearly, left-wing streamer Steve Bonnell, aka Destiny, called for conservatives to be killed more often so they'll be afraid to attend events or speak out. Turning Point USA founder and conservative political activist Charlie Kirk was gunned down last week by a far-left assassin who lived with a transgender partner. Last summer, President Trump was almost assassinated when he was shot in the ear by a left-wing gunman at a campaign event. Radical leftists have been violently attacking and threatening conservatives for years, and this left-wing streamer is calling for more violence. But we're used to this behavior from the left. For years, they have been calling for violence against conservatives, against MAGA, against Trump supporters. This is war, and it's a spiritual one. And those of us who have accepted Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior, we will prevail.
Every time I got to redo this video because I cussed too much. 7 Democrats voted with MAGA, with the Republicans, to support funding for ICE. There's no pressure. They did it on their own. It was their choice. And Hakeem Jeffries, what a winner that guy is. A real leader. A real champion for the people. Henry Cuellar, Don Davis, Laura Gillen, Jared Golden, the cool dude with tattoos from Maine, Vicente Gonzalez, and Marie Glusenkamp Perez. I think she had a bill to kill sea lions a couple weeks ago. Real fancy stuff over there. That's the controlled opposition.
Hi, I am wondering which you think is making America the greatest. Tear gassing infants, or abducting U.S. citizens off the street and putting them in detention. Which of those do you think is making America the greatest?
Right, so I'm obviously not going to answer that question.
Why? Those are all things that happened. You don't think those are great? You're working for the regime doing them. It's not, explain to me. It's not obvious why you won't answer that question. Explain to me why that would be obvious.
Yeah, that's just not something that I can really answer, obviously.
I don't think that's what you meant when you said I'm obviously not going to answer that question. I think it's because you know that none of those things are making America great.
Sure.
So why are you working to support them? Have you ever heard the term collaborator?
Yep.
You have? And you're still sitting there? That's brave of you.
Yeah, is there a message that I can take down for the congressman?
There's a message for you. You should quit. You just made it very clear. You know all three of those, of the many, many, many things this regime has done to, quote, make America great again. You know that they're horrendous. And you're part of that right now. And you don't have to be. You could quit. You could stop betraying your country. You could do it today if you wanted.
Got it.
Sleep on it.
Sure, yeah. I will definitely take that message for myself, I guess.
I hope your conscience keeps you up tonight.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Have the day you deserve.
You're a collaborator. You should quit. Harsh? Maybe. Accurate? Absolutely. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Working for a system you know is harmful makes you part of it. Full stop. Now, some people stay to resist from inside, to slow things down, protect vulnerable people, leak when necessary. But if you're just complying, answering phones, taking messages, making the machine run smoother, you're not stuck. You're choosing. I was just doing my job has never been a valid defense. History doesn't remember intentions. It remembers actions. So if you're working for something you know is wrong, ask yourself, am I undermining this from within or just getting comfortable with it? Because at some point, comfort becomes complicity. And you don't get to claim innocence anymore. So what did we just watch? Anger, fear, hope, frustration, and yeah, a lot of truth. People are fed up with broken systems, lying politicians, watching their rights disappear while being told to wait their turn. Some of these takes were messy, some contradictory, some pure emotion, but that's where we are. So here's the takeaway. Vote, organize, speak up, but also take care of yourself. This is a marathon. If you burn out now, you won't make it to the finish. Drop a comment. Which clip hit hardest? Smash that like. Share with someone who needs this and subscribe. We're just getting started.